All right, let me just switch over. Everyone see my beautiful face. And unfortunately, I don't have your beautiful faces to join me, but we'll have your beautiful voices. So first off, congratulations to you, first pick GAZLOWE, GG, AFK. You guys looked really good those two games. It was a little bit up and down. It was a good series, but obviously you guys walked away with it.
Yeah, I actually felt bad for the first game because personally I feel like the other team should have won, but the ETC threw away his mosh because of the bunker bug. So
Yeah, I,
yeah,
I I think that definitely impacted them significantly, like you said. And the thing though, I can see where you guys are coming from. Like you feel bad, but hear me out here. You guys fought an even fight. They fought an even fight at the end of the game there, and you guys absolutely spanked them. Like you bent them over your knees and told them how bad they were as children. I mean, even though that match was wasted and you guys were able to recoup where you were in that game, you still won a fair fight, and they had a fair fight as well.
Yeah, I felt. I mean, overall, it was a great series, like you said. Their team played really well. I think kudos to them. I mean, it was tight towards the, like pretty much towards the end. Every single game, we're biting our nails. So pretty happy with the team pulling it through with some clutch plays.
Yeah, I think that's also the fact of like the comp you played. Your comps were you guys scale better because Kel'Thuzad is literally get 30 stacks of blight and game is completely different. 15 stacks is slightly different, but not the same. Like 30 is really the make or break of how your team plays.
Yeah, I mean that's what we've seen. We've had plenty of games where we were playing team league together, and we get to that point where you're down to one keep or two keeps. The other team has all their forts up, and you think it's over, but the scaling just takes over. People take for granted how strong you are late game versus the start of the game, and they get a little comfortable.
Yeah.
So
And as long as you guys hold the structure count to a minimal disadvantage, then it's not a big deal. And that's usually the problem a lot of teams do have is that they fall too far behind the structures, and even though they have a late game comp, they can never push out and take advantage of those kills. And you guys never had that problem because you actually were able to push and get the first keep of the game, which gave you guys the advantage actually towards the end there.
right. One benefit of Kel'Thuzad is he's really strong for sieging and defending against siege because for sieging we can easily get a pick from Kel'Thuzad chains, and for defending, Kel'Thuzad's threat completely zones the other team, so
Yeah,
it's really difficult for them to push.
yeah, and I got to give credit. Like your team comps were beautiful. Like for playing with a Kel'Thuzad. Like I feel like too many people pick up a Kel'Thuzad, but then they don't want to pick up all the CC required to help Kel'Thuzad land his combos. And even if you're a fantastic Kel'Thuzad player, you need people to help you set up those combos. And between in the second game, leap, spear, absolves, throws, Qs, taunts. I mean, you guys weren't like afraid to be like, we're going to put all the CC onto people and make sure our Kel'Thuzad is getting those stacks and blowing up people.
yeah, I mean we played a long time together as a team, just as friends, right? And we kind of got comfortable playing each other's each character, each role, so we know who's gonna pretty much land what ability when. The big thing that messes us up is when the other team has equal amounts of CC, and then things get a little chaotic. And you could see it there, a couple times, lots of missed chains and things. But thankfully, Absolved is just pretty much a beast on Garrosh, and he just landed some sick throws, man. And we were so thankful for that.
Yeah, there were some really good plays. One thing I got to say is obviously he's not in the Discord chat with us. Is that he's probably one of the better warriors or tank players that I've seen in terms of what he does for his role. In that like he keeps vision, and he was making some really good blanks as well. Like he knows like I get into the backside, I throw him into the team, and then I can taunt him and Q him. And he did that multiple times. He positioned himself in very aggressive ways, realizing like what your team could do if you get that opportunity to actually grab someone.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm a fat kid. I love me some flanks, and he would call it out every single time, man. He was like, "I'm going for some flanks."
Yeah, that's awesome. So that's leading to a good question of like, what are comms like for you guys? Because every team does it differently. I've heard like pretty much the whole thing of like it's just like chaos to it's very organized. People feeding information to like one shot caller. It sounds like you guys have really good comms, at least from Absolved, where he's letting you know what to expect, when to expect it.
Right. So one thing is, we originally started the team as a troll team. Like we've been playing together for 15 years, and we kind of just play off meta troll strategies. And basically, Absolve gets really angry when I play GAZLOWE. So when I play GAZLOWE, he will put duct tape over his mini map so that he can't see the map, and we would have to play with that handicap. We would have to tell him where to go and stuff like that.
Oh my
So
god.
we actually do this in our games, and I think it might improve our macro because we have one person who's playing blind, and everyone else has to like tell him where to go.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually almost an excellent exercise. I should tell the team I'm the analyst for. put duct tape on your mini maps and tell that person what's going on. But yeah,
Yeah, if you could edit that out, we don't want that getting to the HGC though.
I actually think that's an excellent strategy, unintended, because like you said, one of the biggest problems most teams have is communication and adequate levels of communication. Like what some teams think is adequate is probably like nothing to me. Like and what I phrase it as is you have to be the Bob Ross of communication. You got to paint pretty pictures with your words. And if you can't, painting trees with your words, then they don't know what's going on. And in this case, you literally have a player who doesn't know what's going on the map without telling him exactly what's going on.
Right, and this gets really fun in ranked draft or team league where there's nothing on the line. So like sometimes we'll feed him fake information just so, like he'll end up in really bad situations and then we'll just make fun of him.
That's hilarious, actually. That's great that you guys have been playing together so long that like even though he tilts by the gas pick, that you still have good fun with the fact that he knows he tilts from it and you all enjoy it.
Pretty much that's the start of every game. It's like the first 15, 20 minutes is Cass and Absolve just bickering back and forth. And then we're like, all right, guys, we have to try now. Like we're really far behind.
Yeah, I think you saw it in the first game where I went bottom. Absolve's like, no, you're fucking stupid. You should go top. And then we kept arguing about it, and eventually I listened to him.
That's hilarious. So, so I take it then like Absolved is really the main shot caller, but because of you guys being friends and also trolling a bit, like it's kind of like a little bit of a back and forth too.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, cool.
Pretty much. Yeah, it's pretty much spot on.
So for drafting, since obviously you guys do troll a little bit here and there with like the gas pick that you were saying, how does that work in draft? Since obviously if Absolved is the drafter, does he just say like, okay, you get your one game with Gaz, like that's how it goes?
Yeah, basically. Like he'll for an ultimatum, it's like, okay, I'll play one game with Gaz, and then for a second game, he's like, okay, you can play Gaz, but if you play Gaz, I'm going to do this to handicap myself. So it comes down to if it's worth me playing Gaz and playing with that handicap.
That's awesome. So I gotta ask, for the second game, why'd you guys pick up Cassia? Like, you guys will go back and hear me say, like, I thought Cassia made 0 sense in that comp.
Right. So one thing is, people think that we have a strategy chart draft, but really it's just we just pick whoever we feel like playing. I mean, like to a certain extent, we want to make the draft like work,
Yeah.
but we're not going to play like 100% optimal efficiency. It's just play who you want within reason.
We also, I mean, if you look at most people are all about meta, right? They watch HGC, they think they know this is the meta pick for this map, and I'm a firm believer that you play what you're comfortable with, what you're good at, and like I said, we've been playing well enough together for a long period of time that we kind of know whose comfort pick is what, and we play around it,
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, the Cassia play was excellent between the Valkyrie picks and just like at the end there, he man moded too. Like Absolved comes back in, he gets the double throw, and then the follow up Q stun. And Ursik is like, it doesn't matter if I have like 25% health. I'm just fending in there. and you guys get those 2 kills, which really helped, get you guys back into the game.
Yeah, we were trying to get it so that we could Valk into a throw, into a chain, and get them into our keep area, but it just wouldn't happen that way.
Oh my god, I should have thought about that. That would have been amazing. So yeah, I mean, and you played fantastic on that Kel'Thuzad. Like I said, I mean, your team in general played really well. I like that you picked up the leap as well, Cass. I was saying in the draft that like you guys have a lot of CC, and they drafted a team comp with no front line other than a Johanna, which is like just jump onto them in with your CC chain, which you guys demonstrated. You can take out anyone pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, the top part was their Hanzo was landing some pretty sick Qs on me. I kept getting picked down to like 80, 75% at the start of every single fight, and I thought I was hanging back. So, but it definitely helped out that they didn't have a second front line to kind of just bully us.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a funny moment in the bottom lane in Tower of Doom where I thought Hanzo was queuing me, so I dodge, and then the Q just goes past me and kills Kel'Thuzad.
That's what happened. I was watching Ursic duel against Galaxy, and then I see Kel'Thuzad dead on the screen. I was like, what happened here? That would explain it a lot. That it was you dodging and Bungie not expecting it to hit him at that point.
Yeah, I was blindsided by that. I was just like, all right, well, I'm AFK.
I was like, oh, you guys are up. This is going to be a channel. You guys are going to just like body him at that point. But then it became in that all out brawl, which was more kills than 4 kills.
Yeah, I think one thing that was cool was some Ethereum player just kept disconnecting the entire game, and somehow I'd say 70% of disconnects were right during the team fight, so we had to pause. And that pause felt sort of like the final games of a sporting event in basketball where coaches call timeout and they have time to discuss strategy and stuff. So I felt like that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I almost feel like that'd actually be an interesting thing to add into like HGC in general. Almost like a 30-second timeout that a team can use just as like to get your heads in the game kind of moment. I mean, obviously professional sports have timeouts in critical situations. So like why can't we have timeouts in HGC and competitive, Heroes of the Storm? Sounds like an awesome idea.
Yeah, I think I mean the pauses definitely weren't I don't know. I get a little irritated because I feel like things are rolling, but at that last fight was kind of critical, and it was 3v3, and I'm basically just sitting there saying, guys, like it's either they get a sick pick or we get a sick pick. Like it's just one of us is gonna determine this game right now, and fortunately we came out on top, and it was just great combos, all around.
Yeah, I was saying. I mean, it was straight up a two assassin versus with a support versus the same exact thing. 2 assassins with a support. So like it could be anyone's game there too, because you have the ability to grab someone. They have the ability to blow up someone from range, from the combination of orbs from range and the Qs from range. But if you're able to dodge that, all of a sudden like they're out of damage, and if you get a grab, they're done for.
Yeah, I don't know if you watch again, you'll see I hesitated on the chain combo because I didn't think I got Ming, and fortunately Absolved was there to stun, so she couldn't port away right away. So we still got a nice combo after that, but she could have gotten away for a second if we didn't react quick.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I like how you guys drafted in that you pick up the CC to help with the Kel'Thuzad. Instead of saying like, okay, I'm a Kel'Thuzad god or a Kel'Tha god, you realize like, okay, there's times where it helps to have someone, add additional CC to ensure my roots and damage come through, which, sometimes teams won't draft what I feel is enough CC with the Kel'Thuzad, because at least in Heroes of the Storm, there's almost never a wrong choice of having more CC anyways.
Yeah, there definitely is, and that Kel'Thuzad obviously is not one of the more popular picks, but he can swing a fight completely at the beginning if he gets one pick, and that's pretty much all we were hoping for was, let's just fish around, see if we can get a pick. And fortunately, the first game we got a healer pick right at the end fight, and then on that last fight, same thing. It's just that's what it's all about, man. It's all on the line. See if we can come together and get a nice pick, and then just steamroll.
Yeah, Kel'Thuzad is kind of like you blow someone up and then the fight changes immediately. Like in game 1, you got the pick on Decker Kane when they picked up the Punisher, and they did literally nothing with the Punisher because you just blew up Kel'Thuzad. You got at least one, if not two, on Stormkiller on the fall stat as well. So, like, that changes dynamics of the game immediately, and it really, really showed in game 1 and 2.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's what we were saying. We're like, guys, like we're literally just one pick away from turning this back around. And fortunately, we had good rotations. We tend to get really excited early on, and like I said, the first 15, 20 minutes are pretty chaotic in comms with us just kind of joking around and enjoying the game. And then when things are actually getting serious, we tend to quiet down and just listen to shots. So.
All right. So my final question, since I also have another match to cast, is what have you guys learned in the last month or two that you feel has helped improved your team?
So the biggest thing I learned was that Malfurion, when he moonfires, he heals. So we had a game where I've not played healing, and every now and then they just insta-lock and force me into a healing role, and I primarily play assassin. And I played a whole game without knowing that Moonfire healed. So there you go.
That's great. I guess if you're not used to the Malfurion rework, it makes 100% sense. Anything from you, Cass?
No, I feel like honestly, I feel like we've kind of regressed as a team, but whatever.
Well, for regressing as a team, you guys are doing pretty well in the standings. Like, theoretically, you could be number 3, depending on how the rest of the week shapes up.
I think a lot of this, like right now, we're having some directional issues with the team. Like half the team wants to just go full troll and just pick completely ridiculous comps, and the other half is like, oh wait, we might actually make playoffs. We should start playing meta, and we can't agree on what to do.
I think last week that's what happened when we're kind of like looking at the standings, looking at the schedule coming up, and we're like, guys, we stand a pretty good shot here. Like, do we want to go meta? And then that conversation lasted 2 seconds. We're like, we're not going meta. And then after that, I was like, all right, do we go full troll or do we just play comfort picks, and go from there? So we're still on debate for that.
So thanks so much, guys, for the interview. I definitely appreciate it, and congratulations once again to your team. And before the other teams decide to kill me, I need to head on over and cast some more. So thanks again, guys, for the interview, and good luck with the rest of NGS season.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks, man. Really enjoyed your stream.
Thanks.